Hi, I'm John and I lead the product team here at SquaredUp. And I'm going to show you SquaredUp for Azure. So SquaredUp for Azure is a product that lets DevOps, IT operations, service management professionals build dashboards that show all the teams they work with what's going on with the apps and services running in an Azure environment. So you can build dashboards that bring in data not just from Azure, but from all the tools you work with, ticketing, APM, and so on. And you can show those dashboards to lots of different teams. So for example, you can build dashboards for management that will show beautiful views of what's going on with the costs in the environment, as well as views more aimed at service desk or app teams and so on. So let's take a look. So in this environment, we've got SquaredUp for Azure running, showing 4 applications running in our Azure tenant. And we've built dashboards that show, for example, a summary level view, so you can see in columns each of the 4 applications. And we're showing this is the kind of thing that you might want to put on a wall board that maybe the service desk would have or the exec team would have to see what's going on. You can see live views of the home page of each application, whether there are any incidents from the service desk, what the throughput is, so different metrics coming through, what the outside world is seeing in terms of a response time, how much the resources involved are costing, and whether there's any alerts out of the Azure platform. These dashboards are interactive, so you can click and see more detail. For example, this is a dashboard that we've built specifically for this application. Maybe the development team would have this on their wallboard. Maybe the service desk team would dig straight into this to get a top-level view of what's going on. You can keep drilling down and see, for example, each of the resources involved in delivering the application. In this case, it's a load of virtual machines, and you can keep clicking and clicking. Other kinds of dashboards you could build would include maybe, for the management team, a cost overview. So we've built here a dashboard that's showing for the whole tenant what's going on in terms of costs. You can see costs over time. You can see costs broken down by the different subscriptions involved. So there's 2 subscriptions here. There's the biggest resource group. There's the most expensive resource within it. And there's also this tree map view, which lets you immediately see what the most expensive resource is. You could build dashboards for the service desk. You could build dashboards maybe for the security team, showing what's going on in terms of Windows updates coming out of Azure Monitor logs, and so on. And each of these dashboards can be shared. So you can take a dashboard such as this application summary and expose it with what we call open access. So this means you get a unique URL just for that dashboard that generates a non-interactive view that you can put on a wallboard or an intranet page for anyone, even those who don't have Azure accounts. So there's some examples of the kind of dashboards you can build with SquaredUp for Azure. SquaredUp for Azure runs as a web application and connects to your Azure environment via the Azure APIs. It's super simple to install. It'll only take a couple of minutes. And once you're up and running, we give you some pre-built dashboards that show you the resources, costs, and infrastructure in your Azure environment. Let's take a look at those, and then I'll come back and show you how quick and easy it is to set up your own dashboards. When you first install SquaredUp for Azure, you see this welcome screen, but we also give you some pre-built dashboards. So for example, we give you dashboards that show you an overview of your Azure tenant. So this is showing all of the subscriptions in that tenant. You can drill into any one of those and we'll show you costs and resource groups. You can click on any of the resource groups. We'll show you a view of the resources inside that resource group. You can click down to any of those resources and see a view specific to them, and so on. We also give you pre-built dashboards based on the types of resources. So we'll show you different kinds of compute environment, monitoring, network, and so on. So let's take a look at an example. This is a pre-built dashboard for all of the app services and app service plans. So the platform as a service running inside your Azure tenant. So this is all of them across all of the subscriptions. Similarly, this is the pre-built dashboard we give you for application insights. So this is again showing all of the app insights tests that you've got set up across your tenant, what the latest results are in a heat map, load time, cost, and so on. And similarly for network type resources, we'll take a look at an example for application gateways. So this is what's showing cost metrics for the application gateways in your environment. And you can always change the time frame on any of these dashboards. They will always live refresh. So you're always seeing an up-to-date, latest view of your environment. Now let's take a look at how you can set up your own dashboards in SquaredUp for Azure. We have a super easy, intuitive designer. Anyone who's given the admin role within Azure for SquaredUp can go in and create their own dashboards. So not just you, but any of the teams you work with can very easily build dashboards in SquaredUp for Azure. Let's take a look. So let's see how easy it is to create a new dashboard in SquaredUp for Azure. To get started, you simply hit that plus button, add a new dashboard, and when you see this blank canvas, our dashboard designer, at any time you can hit the cog button in any of your existing dashboards to go in and modify them. You can simply add columns by clicking. You can add new tiles by clicking again. And then each of the tiles, you select what kind of tile you want to have. So for example, we're going to choose a performance one, and then it'll give you the options for visualizing. So let's choose a nice simple line graph. You scope it. So in this case, we're going to choose resource group, but you could choose subscription, type, tag, whatever you like. So let's choose this public demo resource group. Because we want to show metrics, we're going to need to filter it by type. So let's choose virtual machines. This is an old school app that sits inside this resource group. And finally, we're going to need to select a metric. So we're going to show you all the metrics that are available from Azure Monitor Metrics for that type of resource. And immediately we're showing you the visualization that you're going to see. You can play around and maybe limit the number of results. So let's make that 5. You can add labels. So there's a legend. And as you change, the changes are immediately refreshed in front of your eyes. Hit done, hit publish, and your dashboard is ready for sharing. It's as simple as that. So that was a quick overview of some of the things that SquaredUp for Azure can do for you. There is so much more power in the tool. There's so many more ways in which you can build really cool dashboards to share with all the teams you work with. If you want to find out more and try it out for yourself, I'd love you to go to squaredup.com, where you can sign up for a free 30-day trial. Super simple to get going. You can either install from the marketplace or straight onto a VM. So head to squaredup.com and find out more. Happy dashboarding.